For my second stop in the forest, I spent a short week at the Allpahuayo-Mishana reserve near Iquitos. The Allpahuayo-Mishana station is the point of entry of the reserve. In the 90s, 2000s, it was a wonderful outdoors museum with live exhibitions such as the garden of host plants for butterflies or the 4-hectare orchard with local fruit trees. But the government didn't give enough money to properly maintain it in years. And now it feels like walking through the Jurassic Park after the dinosaurs escaped. I spent the first day walking in the reserve. I realized very quickly that the density of clearings is very low and that I will not be able to find them by myself. Fortunately, the locals accept to help me and they either guide me or they draw maps to find beautiful clearings like this one. Although the size of the clearings in the reserve is slightly overwhelming, I immediately noticed this. Fruits! Many fruits! Countless fruits everywhere! But they're all green and don't look mature. I quickly collect one and start a small germination experiment in my room at the station. In the forest, when you look closely, you might find little wonders. A tiny red flash near my feet led me to discover this beautiful frog with its only tadpole on its back. One of the local names of the clearings is Supai Chakra, which means Devil's Garden in Quechuan. This comes from the fact that they look like cultivated areas in the middle of the jungle, and therefore could be the property of Chuyachaki, a forest spirit. They are in fact created by the ant species I study, which kills all the plants that do not belong to the plant species they inhabit. Funny enough, some Supai chakras are touristic attractions in the reserve. So much so that the largest one even has its own benches. During almost all my walks, I'm quickly spotted by families of pichicos. They're too afraid to come down, but too curious to escape. The germination experiment that I started didn't quite turn out the way I expected. It actually got eaten during a night by a visitor who also munched on my soap. Curious about its identity, I tracked the culprit for a few evenings, only to discover that there was a couple of them. I talked a few times about collecting samples. Here is what I actually do when I go back to the Supai chakras that I previously marked with my GPS. The first step is obviously to prepare my collecting gear. Tubes for ants, envelopes for leaves, and plastic bags for fruits. All of those with the codename of the plant I am interested in. Then I mark the exact location of the plant. I measure its base diameter to get a rough idea of its age. I collect a couple of fruits and cut a branch with a domatia and a few leaves. Back to the workstation I prepared, I put the fruits in their bags. Then I open the domatia and pour the ants that are inside into a tube. And finally, I keep one leaf in an envelope. The butterfly farm is another vestige of the grandeur of the Allpahuayo-Mishana station. No pterodactyl here, but no butterfly either. This is not the right season to breed them, and I am only left with imagining how surreal it looks when morphos fly among the flowers. All in all, the outcome of this short trip is very satisfying. I collected many ants, many leaves, and enough fruits to make liters of jam, if they were not deadly poisonous. However, the fruits are green, and I can only hope that the seeds will germinate properly. My stay is over, and I leave Allpahuayo-Mishana. Between Jurassic Park and the Chuyachaki, my head is full of magical stories that I am gonna take with me to the next station.